This was a mechanical room for a newly constructed dorm at Penn State University.
We installed pumps, heat exchangers, and domestic water for the dorms.
Well, I mean, it was cold up there. It was the middle of winter. I don't normally wear insulated boots in the winter, but I had to go out and buy some for that job.
It was such a small space for the mechanical room, which we were provided, which made it difficult for planning and organizing pumps and equipment and piping as well.
I mean, we had thousands of feet of pipe to go into this. I don't remember the size of the room. All I know is it was tight. We ran out of space in the ceiling, so we actually started hanging pipe off the walls.
The most difficult was it was such a small job site, let alone being in the winter with 0-degree temperatures and snowfall and icy conditions. So that was challenging.
So the weather was a major factor. Single digits, wind every day. It seemed like it snowed every day up there. Just one of the coldest jobs I was ever on.
Whenever we were building this brand new dorm, they were also renovating a dorm right beside it. So there was 2 jobs going on, and I mean, you know how a college campus is buildings everywhere, so there wasn't quite the laydown area for anybody really. So like imagine 2 buildings being built inside a fence that is as small as it can be.
The laydown area, there was no room to get your material in there. Everything was so compact, so many contractors on site, just a real tight project. We got there in, I think it was middle of December, and by the time we left in, I believe it was April, beginning April, middle of April, we had completed all of the piping for the entire building.
It was installation of a weight room gym floor for the Villanova University. I was the lead foreman, and I was mainly the guy there to make sure everything was put in right and to make sure everything got cut in correctly. And we had to go over an existing floor that was there, and we had to actually cut it out and put in parts of it needed to be built up in different thicknesses so that we could get a completely smooth floor when we were all finished. I would say it's been a push in the last couple of years in our industry to get away from the platforms that are there. That the old platforms used to be basically a plank flooring that you put on top of the old flooring. So basically a lot of facilities, coaches, athletic directors they have problems cleaning around them. It's a safety hazard as far as just walking around the facility, and then not to mention the guys lifting on top of the platform. There's a good 2-3 inch fall there that typically could be a potential hazard. Cutting in the logos that were actually inlaid in the actual platform area, they're pretty tricky to install, and the fact that we had to actually put them in the exact right place, and we had 2 different areas that we had to install the logo into one piece, so I had to be correct on one end and the other end. There was kind of no second chance at cutting it in. So when we went back to take pictures, it was about a month later or so, and the coaches can't say enough about it, how well they love it and how great it's been to use it.
The building was in Kutztown, PA, and one of the main things was the brick had to match the existing building, which was the old Schaefer Auditorium, built, I believe, was 1926. 2-story masonry, reinforced masonry building, CMU on the interior, and Flemish bond brick and cast stone exterior. I say a 2-story building, but it was, I think 45 or 50 feet was the height of the building. Well, we had some great craftsmen on the job that helped out in making the building the way it looked. We had a total of, I'm going to say, about 35 at peak. We had to start from the inside and work our way out because there was no access to anything once the exterior walls were put up, because there was an auditorium and that. So that took a lot of logistics trying to get that straightened out and work that way. Build a wall, tear it down, move it back, build another wall, tear it down, move it back until you worked your way out till you got to the exterior walls. Then you could seal the building up. The colors were off just a hair. You know, you had brown and then you had light brown colors in there, I guess you could call them there. And if something got a little wet, you really couldn't tell the difference between the colors. It's a full Flemish bond, which is an art in itself laying out. But the brickwork had to match the stone in coursing height. Plus all the arches, there were arches that we had to go over, in which we made forms for and come over the top. We had a couple of jack arches, which, you know, is all unique in itself, the way all that's put together. All our material is weather sensitive or cold sensitive. So yeah, that was tough trying to maintain a schedule when working through the winter months. Our work pretty much stays the same, it doesn't really change, you know. Yes, these are fun jobs to do. They're a lot more difficult to do, but they're a lot of fun to do.